Morning everybody, it's Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 majors analysis update for the 12th of September 2011. It's going to be going with 4 majors this morning, starting with Euro against US dollar. Okay, we could see that last week's sell-off was quite extreme, and if we look at the bigger picture, you could see that if I take the previous highs, take the consolidation range back up to where it was, you can see that 135.5 is the 100% fib extension of the initial move. So that 100% move is now seeing a 100% move to the downside, and we've seen a bit of consolidation now above the 13.5500 mark. It's trailing well below the 400 mark, prior resistance, and I mentioned it would sell off quite drastically if we work through that level, and sure enough we've headed down to this area. You'll notice in roughly around the 1355 or 13500 mark we have a significant support and resistance level. In the past, resistance, support, resistance, 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 and further support. So psychologically 13500 is our next support area. We've got to see price bounce on here, or to see any further potential of an upside consolidation move, then we need to see the 13500 sticking. If not, break below that, then we could look at 161.8 at the as a potential next target for price, and then ultimately 2618 way down here as our next potential move. So ultimately we have quite a fair distance to go on the pair. So looking intraday now, 13500, we can do that as plot that on our 4-hour and hourly. There we go, where price is trading right now. That is our intraday support. So price has to stay above that in order to see a potential consolidation upside movement. Failure to do that, then obviously we'll see a continuation lower, but we need to see price trading below that level to give us another confirmation entry to the downside. If you look at the hourly chart setup as we speak, you can see the swing lows, swing low, swing low, swing low, dictating price action or price movement in this time frame, and you can see that price is testing that prior that trend line as you speak. So, and a prior resistance level in the past, well, prior support. So we had a prior support, breakout, consolidation. Now it's back up here. So 13.5700 is our intraday setting level for smaller time frames. So if you're trading, looking for entries on a, say, a 15 and 30 minute, let me just put that in. Bear with me for a moment. So 30 minutes and 15 minutes, 5.5, 5.7 I mentioned. There we go. Ceiling level right now, resistance. Got to try and break above that. You'll notice that there's also a consolidation band just above this area here. So lots of consolidation in this area. So if we break above that, then the 136200 is our next potential resistance area. So we're going to go into this consolidation bandwidth against the trend. So you can see where price has come from. There we go. And you can see where price is trading right now as you speak against the overall trend, the intraday trend. A break above that would definitely consider further upside movement or consolidation against the trend intraday. Failure to do so would see price just rolling over here, and we should be looking at the prior low plus the extension low. As I mentioned, 13.500 is our daily support. So if break below that, we definitely confirm that we should be looking for further downside movement. CTC is well extended in our favor. If you look at all the time frames, 5 minutes we have consolidation, but we still have CTC very negative. Same on 30-minute, hourly, 4-hour, and our daily, all extended, all red. So we should be looking for nothing more than an opportunity for further short or bearishness. Next one is sterling against US dollar, good old cable. Now again, you can see price action moving quite steadily to the downside. After you broke through the 1600 mark, we saw a slight consolidation on the underside. Price failed to rally, and psychologically we saw momentum changing, shifting. You see this long wick over here, price action primarily at the bottom end of the wick, and sure enough Friday we saw the sell-off, and this morning we've seen price trading even lower. So as it stands now, you can see that the low end of this wick here at roughly the 15, where's the low of this candle here? The low of 157900 has been our next support area, but you can see back in the day, you can see just that we also had a price support and resistance level at this level not too long ago. So as it stands now, ideally a break below this low level here of 1578.60 would be our intraday support. We do need to see price trading below that, and to see any further movement down. If we don't, then we could see a potential bounce higher today. So just make a note of that. So the low of 15.786, price is going to be trading below that in order to be considered still bullish, sorry, bearish. Let's put that figure in right now so we can see it. 78, here we go. So that is our intraday support. You've got to see price trading below that in order to see further bearishness. You can see that the low swing lows over here dictating price action intraday. Make that trend line so you can see it. Governing price action, swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low. CTC is well in our favor now. We saw a break below price support and resistance level here. Breach. CTC, if you wanted to, also another one over here. Back here at 16.2500. Break below that. Consolidation and then a continuation lower. As seen extensions low for this pair. We're trading now at this level area here, which we've seen price support and resistance, and we're seeing a slight consolidation. We do need to see price breaking lower than that to see further downside movement. Failure to do that, we'd see a consolidation against the trend. Ideally, we could see potential price support and resistance being tested if that's the case. So just here, roughly around the 15.9500 mark, we could see price bounce higher and consolidate around this trend line. A break of the trend line and above 15.9500 would see further extensions higher. We could look at potential moves to roughly around the 1500 mark, 16.2500 mark, etc. to the upside. Overall, the trend is still negative for sterling on all time frames. So we're just seeing a consolidation against the major trend direction. You can see here on a 5 minute, a lot of consolidation. Price action here on the 15 minutes, also consolidating after initial breakout. Here at 15.84, we saw consolidation breakout. There again, another one roughly around here at the 15.900. Consolidation, support, support, resistance, resistance, continuation. So break above these areas here intraday would look for potential higher swings. Failure to do so, we could see a consolidation against the major trend before we see another further extension lower. Next up is the US dollar against the Swiss franc, and since the intervention we've seen price action continue to rise against the major trend. You can look at the daily here, for example. You can see price is well extended now, kept its nerve and posted higher highs, breaking previous resistance here at 8300, which happened to be a long-term support and resistance level. Smacked straight through that. Trade up to the next level of support and resistance above the 8600 mark, found support and extended higher. Now testing the previous support and resistance level here around the institutional moving average, which happens to be a prior support and resistance at roughly the 8900 mark. And if we can close above the institutional moving average, you can see the CTC now for the first time is starting to look quite bullish now, because we have everything bar the bottom CTC's layout giving us our power signal. So we have the blue arrow, blue candles, and the CTC is starting to go positive. If we can get above the institutional moving average, then we're definitely looking for further extensions higher, because psychologically we are seeing price trading above an institutional moving average, which means that it's trading at its highest points over 200 periods of that time frame. In this case, it would be daily. And we should be looking at roughly around the price support and resistance level he has at 9300 as a potential target if we break above this prior resistance here at the 89. So there's quite a lot of movement still to be seen in this pair. You can see the overall downtrend has been breached now just recently. There we go. So we had a breakout, consolidation, and then continuation. There we go. Resistance, 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 breakout, pullback, continuation. And we are now heading higher for this pair. It'll be interesting to see where it goes to. But we have reached the 100%. Now we could look at ideally a close above the institutional moving average. So anything above 88.50 or 89 would be brilliant. If we can stay above these areas here, the institutional moving average, then ultimately we should be looking for further extension. So psychologically, intraday, that'll be our support area at 88.50. So let's put that in. So on our hourly chart, is the 88.50 there. That can be our support. So price has to stay above that area. Failure to find support at that level there and pull over, break over, could see price retesting possibly the 8800, because we've seen slight consolidation there against the trend. And then we can see one here at 87.50. Sorry, yeah, 87.50, and then all the way down here at 86. So there's, as long as it can stay above 88.5, then we should possibly see a slight consolidation before we see a continuation higher. Higher swings, depicting price action movements on this time frame. Swing higher, swing higher, swing higher, swing higher. As long as it's swinging higher, and you can see the trend line here governing price action to the upside. If you can stay above that area there or above the trend line intraday, then we should be expecting a further extension higher. And you can see that we're trading above the institutional moving average on our daily, so that's a good sign. So price is broken above an institutional moving average. It's just got to stay above it now to confirm that price action is still looking favorable to the upside. And if it continues that, then we should be looking for ultimately long-term gains for long-term movement for the US dollar against Swiss franc until further notice. The last pair of the day is US dollar against Japanese yen. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. A lot of selling off over the Asian session last night. Fears that the Asian market fears that Greece may default, and sure enough, we've seen price failing to break above a prior resistance level we've seen here since we saw the yen trading roughly around the 77,700 mark, and since then we've seen resistance, and sure enough we got to close to the 50 period moving average, and prices just kind of grabbed hold of it and shook it into reality, and we've seen the US dollar falling against the yen pair this morning on the Asian market trading session. Price is now testing the price swing area. So as it stands now, you can see the sell-off. You can see the higher swings on a 4 hour in particular. Price is testing that area as we speak. Candle hasn't closed yet, but it's broken through the institutional moving average on this time frame. So price is trading below all the moving averages, even though the strategy is still giving us a buy signal. We do need to see this 4 hour candle close. If it closes below, then we could very well see candle closing red and the CTC starting to fall bearish again in our favor. We know that 76.50 is an all-time long-term support and resistance level for this pair. So ultimately, our main goal would be to see price action reverting to 76.50. A break and close lower than that would definitely confirm ultimately further short bearishness for this pair. So take that in mind. We do need to see price closing lower than that prior swing to indicate further downside movement. Here we go. You can see that on the hourly, if I can change the color, it'd be great. There we go. The upside, swing high, swing high, swing high, and we're testing it. You can see the institutional moving average is right here. We just breached it. We are testing it. CTC is in our favor for further downside movement. We've seen price fall over, then bounce. Institutionally, 76.85 is 100% of the initial move. However, if we can see price trading below that upside trend, then ultimately 76.50 would be our goal for this, our major target, because that happens to be prior long-term support and resistance at that level. So ultimately, break below this trading range here would definitely see possible further downside to 76.50 is our ultimate target long-term. That's it, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic week, opening date for the week. Just have a look at the news to see if there's anything out that's going to really factor our trading today. Not much out today in terms of really major news announcements. So today, even though it is quite quiet, we could see some movement in the market as people get a bit jittery that there's a good chance that we could see Greece defaulting in the next couple of days or so. That remains to be seen until it happens. just speculation is obviously going to be flying around, making its news around, so there'll be a lot of volatility because of that as people kind of decipher what's actually happening. But as it stands, there's going to be a lot of volatility out there, and you need to know how to trade it. So make sure if you're using the CTC strategy or any strategy to please back it up with sound money management rules. We don't want to be faked into a lot of trades that are going to go against us, so please ensure that if you are trading, that you're trading with sound money management rules and you are getting or using templates or strategy templates that are best suited to this current climate. Other than that, hope you have a fantastic day and trade serenely.